Are we ready to go? Streaming? Good evening, and welcome. We are so glad to have such a great group of folks here with us for this council meeting this evening. Thank you all for joining us. We always like to begin with a Pledge of Allegiance, so we'll ask Gary Harris, the commander of the VFW, to come down and lead us in that.
All veterans may render a salute. Present arms. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Before we enter into a moment of silence, we will ask everybody to join us in just a moment. I did want to mention just a couple of things. When we met last, we sent our prayers to the Redpath family. And David, your mom's ceremony this weekend was absolutely spectacular. It was wonderful to pay tribute to a wonderful lady. Becky Redpath was a very important lady to this community and will be sorely missed. I also had a number of people reach out to me about Richie Delaney and his passing, and I know that his family and all of the people connected with him are in folks' thoughts and prayers. So as we enter into our moment of silence, if you'll please keep some of those things in mind as you reflect, as you prepare for the meeting, and if you choose to have silent prayer. Thank you. Thank you all very much. Okay, well, we always like to start this portion of the meeting with citizen comments on public matters. So if you have something you would like to share with our community, you have 3 minutes. You can come on down to our microphone at the podium, identify yourself for the record. Please use the microphone so folks can hear you, and we will begin now. And are you able to do the clock up here, or do I need to do my little mini clock? All right, I got it right here.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Chris Mullen with Comcast Government Affairs. I wanted to introduce myself to council and to the citizens of Radford. We are very excited to soon be entering Radford and wanting to offer our services to your constituencies. Besides doing telecommunication and everything else, we believe in being strong community members. Right now, we are about to start opening up what we call our Comcast Rise grants, which for small businesses, we give them a $5,000 cash grant, no strings attached, a year of our services for free, and a 30-second commercial that we air for 6 months. We also fully believe in engaging in community efforts and everything else that you guys are involved in and what is important to you. We're just looking to become a new pillar in your community, help support everything, build everything stronger for you guys, and I just wanted to introduce myself and see if you had any questions for me.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise.
All right.
Told you I'd be under 3.
You did great. You went 1 minute, so you did really well. We're impressed. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to add?
Hello, my name's Bill Fleischer. I'm going to direct this to the city manager. Once again, the electrical department showed their stellar performance when a pole was knocked down and very quickly restored power. With this time of year being very cold, it's very much appreciated. I don't know who to thank, so I hope you pass that along. Thank you.
Absolutely. Anyone else care to come down to the podium this evening? We've got lots of good stuff happening, but are there any other citizen comments? Okay. Well, seeing no one else rushing to the podium, we will close that portion of the meeting. And right now, I need to turn the floor over to Mountain Trotter Arts. They have a special presentation. So I will ask them to come down to the podium and to let us know what they have going on this evening.
Hi, we're Mountain Trotter Arts. We're a local nonprofit. We are the organization responsible for this year's Craft and Draft and previously Wesson Weekend. And we just wanted to take a moment to say thank you for all of the support that we've received over these years. We're so grateful for our wonderful community, for all of the volunteers who have come out to help us, and for our wonderful board for always supporting us and letting us come talk our hearts out. So for now, all that we really wanted to do is present some checks to some wonderful organizations. We have one that will go to the Women's Resource Center from the sales of flowers that were donated to us at Wesson Weekend. And then we have another check that's going to go to the Matthew Brunner Scholarship Foundation. Got the name right. That's the important part. And again, we just wanted to say thank you so much to all of our wonderful volunteers and our board who has come out here, and all of the unofficial board members who have been wrangled into helping us all these times throughout the year. So again, thank you so much. And then I guess we'll... Oh, yeah, that's important information. Yeah. So we're doing $600 to the Women's Resource Center, and then $1,200 to the Matthew Brunner's Scholarship Foundation. We'll get there. Thank you so much. I guess we can hand.
You all are welcome to come down front. We can just stand up here if that's okay, if we can do a picture. Why don't you come on down front here? And
Do you want other people in the picture too?
I think you should all come to the picture.
Yeah.
Come on, Mountain Trotter.
Everybody should come down. That way we get everybody in the picture.
well, can we all say, and I won't speak for everybody, but I'll just say on my behalf and on the city's behalf, thank you. Thank you to all the volunteers for the wonderful events, for the wonderful activities, and thank you for this wonderful charitable piece as a part of that to give to things that are important to this community. And in memory of people that are important, we are so thankful for all that you do. And this is people coming together to make Radford even better every day. So thank you all very much. Council, anything else? Okay. Well, we have more good news. You know, for several years, we've been working on an accreditation. CALEA, the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies, sets the bar very high for our law enforcement community. And several years ago, I know our previous chief, who is with us this evening, Jeff Dodson, set us on a path to make this the standard for Radford, just as it is the standard for many communities around our nation. It is the gold standard for public safety agencies, reflecting rigorous self-assessment, review of policies, practices, processes, and really making it where our public safety is the very best that it can be. And we are so appreciative of that. This award reflects the department's commitment to professional excellence, community trust, and professional delivery of public services. And we do have a representative here this evening who is going to join us to share this information. Fran Moore, come on down, along with our chief and our wonderful, dedicated records accreditation manager. So we'll turn the floor over to you. Fran, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, sir. Mayor Horton, city council persons, distinguished guests, and police department employees. It is my pleasure to be here this evening. The Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies, known by the acronym of CALEA, is a nonprofit organization based in Gainesville, Virginia. It was created in 1979 through the combined efforts of the International Association of Chiefs of Police, the National Sheriff's Association, the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives, and the Police Executive Forum. CALEA is an international credentialing organization with a presence in the United States, Canada, Mexico, and Barbados. CALEA provides agencies the opportunity to voluntarily incorporate standards representing the best practices in the delivery of public safety services into written directives, procedures, and everyday activities. The CALEA assessment process provides validation of an agency's ongoing efforts to embrace continuous improvements, consistent professionalism, and a high level of accountability. Not all chiefs of police are willing to subject their agencies to a detailed examination of administrative and operational policies, procedures, and practices by an outside entity. Chief Holdway understood the importance of this process to provide optimal service and accountability to the community. During the continuous assessment process, the Radford Police Department maintains electronic files associated with applicable standards in the Law Enforcement Accreditation Program. These standards require specific actions by agencies seeking initial accreditation and those agencies maintaining their accredited status. Written directives are required by nearly all of the standards. Detailed procedures, audits, inspections, documented reviews, analysis of various law enforcement and public safety functions are all a part of this ongoing endeavor. The contents of these electronic files are reviewed each year by CALEA Assessment Services to employees to obtain reasonable assurance of an agency's continuous compliance with standards. A report of the agency's initial assessment activities and outcomes was reviewed by the CALEA commissioners at the conference in Bellevue, Washington this past November. Following that review, the commission granted an initial award for law enforcement accreditation to the Radford Police Department. At this time, I would like to present this certificate of accreditation to Chief Jerry Holdway.
You all please come down front. Come join us down here. I was going to say, I'd like to have the whole crew, and I'd like to have Jeff Dodson join us for the picture, too.
Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Well, you ran away quick on us. Thank you, Ms. Moore, for coming to make this presentation this evening. Stephanie, thank you so much for all of your hard work. Chief Holdaway, thank you so much. To all of our officers, to all of our staff, this would not have happened without each and every one of you. And I want you to know how much we appreciate the hard work, but also the work that's behind the work of serving our citizens every day. And we are so appreciative of all that you have done, and we want to say thank you so much. Council members, is there anything else anyone would like to say?
Just congratulations. I know it was a long and grueling process, and this is just such a huge accomplishment and a testament to the extended care that you give our community. And thank you all so much for buying in and doing the hard work that it took. Again, just thank you as a citizen and a council member.
Round of applause. Hey, buddy. Thank you for letting your mom do such hard work for us. We're so appreciative of her. Thank you. Thank you all. Well, it's a lot of good news this evening, and we have exciting new beginnings. A little over a month ago, we got together here in council chambers, and we were able to be a part of the announcement for a brand-new school superintendent, Dr. Adam Joyce, who is our new superintendent. Not a stranger to the Radford community. He is a Highlander and a big part of this community, is coming to Radford. Jenny, do you want to make an introduction, or will Dr. Joyce introduce himself? We'll ask our school board chair, Jenny Reif, to come on down and introduce Dr. Joyce.
Hi there, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Jenny Reif, and I'm the chair of the Radford City School Board. And we've been working really hard for the last number of months to find our perfect fit, to find our next leader for our school division. And that was no easy task to undertake. We really worked hard. We worked together as a team and agreed, ahead of time, we needed to find the right person, not just somebody we could settle for. And we all needed to agree on the person we wanted to put forward so that our school system could be united and excited about our future. And we were very lucky to have Dr. Adam Joyce throw his name in the hat and go through our very grueling, I think, process to make sure that we had the perfect candidate. And we are very thankful that he agreed and said yes, and has just started last week, which was an odd week to start with lots of weather issues. But I know he's been very busy with lots of meetings and lots of introductions to a lot of our stakeholders here in town, and I think there's a lot more on his schedule to get to meet. So we're very excited for the future of Radford City Schools, and with that, I'll turn it over to Dr. Joyce. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Reif. I appreciate that. I'm coming up on the anniversary of my beginnings here, and that's tomorrow, 1 week. But it was a very easy week to transition to this job. We had 4 school days last week, and 3 of those were canceled. So I was able to transition quite nicely. But it was not too long ago in this very room that I was met by a ton of really nice folks. And from that moment forward, I have nothing but great experiences so far. From members of the City Council to members of the school board. Today I finished up visiting all 4 schools. Staff members, administration, and students have all been so kind and so welcoming to me. It just re-emphasizes what a pleasure it is to be here and how lucky I am to be here. So I'm looking forward to a long and productive relationship with City Council, with administration, with the school board and the schools, and of course families and stakeholders. So thank you very much. I could not be more happy to be here, and I appreciate. I'm sorry I put you off about a month ago. I was in Richmond.
It's okay.
On school business, so thanks for having me back. I appreciate that very much.
We're glad to have you here, Dr. Joyce.
Thank you.
Welcome to Radford.
Thank you very much. Go Bobcats.
So exciting things happening in our city, from grassroots efforts to wonderful departmental activity to our city schools. Good things are happening in Radford, and I want to just say thank you to everybody for making all those things possible, because it takes a lot of hands to do all of that, and we're so appreciative. We do need to move on to a public hearing, and we will open the floor for that here in just a minute. Radford Transit, every year we make an annual application to the Federal Transit Administration for funding to support Radford Transit, and as part of that, we have an opportunity for the public to provide comments on the application and the proposed use of the $2.55 million planned for the operating funding, $75,000 for capital investment, as well as $100,000 for equipment in the fiscal year 2025 budget, starting this summer, going through next summer. This is our public hearing. We've scheduled it as needed, so Melissa, do you want to make your presentation now, or you want to wait until we get into the new business section? That sounds fine. If anybody has any questions, that's the main thing. It's hard to have a public hearing when we're not when folks aren't 100% sure. So.
Our annual, as you shared, it is our annual application. That what we are spending our money on, we're actually spending our money on. And one of the questions was, our funding. We don't know exactly how much our funding is going to be. We have to wait for them to allocate those. Luckily enough, we're switching from a
Sounds good to me. All right, the floor is now open. The public hearing is officially open. If anybody has any comments or questions, please come down to the podium, state your name for the public record. I know, I thought Scott had something to say about the buses. He wants a bus stop, a permanent bus stop at Glencoe. That's what it is. It was, absolutely. Well, with that and the people making a mass exit, you know, you never know. All right, seeing no one heading to the podium for the public hearing, we will go on and close the public hearing. And we will move on to some old business, and we do have a number of things to talk about here. Ordinance 1796, which is a right-of-way vacation. There's several unopened and unimproved right-of-ways existing on the property known as Prospect Hill. The vacation is needed on several excess right-of-ways to help make the property more marketable for development. This includes portions of Elmwood Street, Prospect Street, Oakland Avenue. A public hearing was held on December 11th with no comments or objections. Board of Viewers was appointed. They reviewed the vacation on January 2nd and found no inconvenience. City Council received the report at our last meeting and asked that the city attorney draft an ordinance. And at this time, I'm going to turn the floor over to Mike Bedsall, our city attorney, to give us a little bit more information about Ordinance 1796 before we move forward. Mike, the floor is yours. Is the green light on? You'll be the man at the podium. That sounds good.
Just real briefly, I'm going to ask that City Council approve Ordinance 1796, subject to the addition of language that title to the total area of each right-of-way vacated shall be retained by the city and become a part of the Prospect Hill property. And the reason why I'm asking that is that in your packet, you had a drawing that the city engineer, Jay Eanes, had prepared on the property that showed the location of these portions of Oakland Avenue, Prospect Avenue, and Elmwood Street that were to be vacated. And you'll notice in the ordinance that I drafted, I provided in there that the city owns the property that borders both sides of these right-of-ways. You know, as you can see here, that's certainly true for Oakland Avenue, Prospect Avenue. Elmwood Street, that clearly on the northern portion of that right-of-way, that's part of the Prospect Hill property, but there's this little, I understand it, Mr. Eanes believes the city does own that triangle piece, but that's something that he's still working on confirming. And for that reason, I would like to add this language just in the event that that little triangle was not owned by the city, that it. Does that make sense?
Sir?
Thanks.
Okay. So, having stated that, do we have a motion to approve Ordinance 1796 as amended with the subject to the language provided by the city attorney this evening?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Having heard 4 affirmative votes, we can dispense with a second reading if so desired. Is there a motion to do so?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Thank you, Mike. And if you all will keep us posted on that little triangle and the rest of the vacation, and we should be good to go. At this time, we will turn the floor over to Melissa Skelton. We'll ask her to come down to the podium as we talk about Radford Transit and look at our fiscal year 2024-25 operating budget.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. As we stated earlier, we are putting in, our public hearing is for not to exceed $2.55 million. I do believe it's going to be a little bit less, but until I know exactly, you know, the fuel, we put in a little bit extra because we don't know how fuel is going to run us from year to year. So the operating budget consists of support salary, it consists of our contract to RTW, as well as some legal costs that we might incur during that fiscal year. and some supporting with Passio. I'm sure you all have heard enough about our system with Passio. Like many other agencies, they're dealing with some technical or lack of technicians. So trying to get the support that we have had previously has just been a struggle. So we've been working diligently trying to have them help us get that up to date. With that being said, we're looking at some alternative web-based support, data support. So we are requesting from the state that $100,000 to help us look at transitioning, but possibly transitioning from the Passio to a web-based, more not hardware-based system. So we'll see how that goes. Clearly, anything we ask and request from the state for their support we don't necessarily get, but it certainly doesn't hurt for us to put that out there. The ACM spare parts, we've got some buses that are older, so we request funding to help support with the larger transmissions, engines, air brakes and all of that. So that's really what that involves. If you have any questions, David did ask me to kind of explain our funding sources. When the census came out previously, our numbers are down, so it put us back to a rural system, which is our relationship. We still have a relationship with FTA, but we be more directly with our state agency, DRPT, Department of Rail and Public Transportation. So I'll be directly managing all our money and handling all of that with DRPT versus FTA. They'll have more direct assistance to our community, helping with the processing and some of the NTD reporting, so we've got a little bit more support from the state. 5311, this will be new for me personally. When Radford Transit first began in 2011, we were a rural funded system, so I'll have to transition from one reporting agency to another, so we'll work on getting myself up to date with all of that. Besides that, I think that's all I have for you.
And we think she's going to like it because we started
Right?
in this rural system because it is more state involved than federally involved.
Yeah.
So with us going in that direction, that was
We still have to meet all the federal requirements regardless. Those are all still all that will still be in place, but the support that you get is more state-driven versus federal.
And we may see possibly some more money.
We are, and I've had some good conversation with our state representation, and she indicates that we should be getting some more. Of course, at the end of the day, until they put those allocations out, I won't know. So we won't really know probably till May, June. So fingers crossed.
Thank you, Melissa. You do an amazing job with the transit system. Council members, are there any questions?
No questions, just a thanks, Melissa.
You're welcome.
What do you use the Passio system for? Is it like a logistical system, or is it a?
It's a number. It tracks the buses.
Okay.
It does passenger count.
Gives you back data to learn.
It does. It
for
gives
the
you
future?
time on point data of where the buses are located. So
It's been wonky for a while.
it has, and part of it, we received 5 new buses this year. Well, trying to get them to come out to install the Passio system on those 5 new buses has been
No bueno.
it's been difficult, and they're responsive and they're trying to work with us, but I've kind of
Ready.
yes, we're
Yeah.
ready.
Okay, just
Yep.
wondering, thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you have any route changes, any additions, subtractions that you're considering?
Not at this point. What we will, anytime that we have any significant changes, we do have to do a public hearing specifically on those changes. As you all have been involved with the transit strategic plan, that should be coming to an end by, you should be getting that before May, I believe, at your May council meeting. And those have some recommendations on some things that we could be doing.
Okay.
Yeah. We do. A lot of our funding is, pre-COVID, a lot of our funding has been directly correlated with our passengers. So since they've been very lax, at some point it's going to go back to our ridership. Yep.
What is typically the average passenger count?
Last year, I believe it was about 124,000. So that's post-COVID. Pre-COVID, we're close to about 270,000. And if direct correlation to the reduction of the number of students that ride it as well. Yeah. You're welcome.
Thank you, Melissa.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Do we have a motion to endorse the proposed fiscal year 2025, 2025 transit budget? We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Okay. David, what do you have for us this evening?
Been tied up for a couple of weeks. I've pressed a lot into it today, so we're trying to catch up on some things. Bear with me. Just a couple of things. Weather certainly has been hammering us lately, whether it's heavy rains from 2 weeks ago to ice cold temperatures today. Thanks to all the departments who managed trees across poles, frozen water lines, ice on streets, whether you get a skip of anything or whether you get a lot, we still have to treat the streets the same way, make sure that we can get them other activities that go on. It's been great about getting things cleared off, so we've been able to minimize. Hopefully, another period of mild weather is coming up. Let's keep our fingers crossed. It moves us a week closer to springtime. I cannot say enough about how proud I am of our police department. The CALEA accreditation is not an easy feat. It is certainly something that a small community like Radford, it takes tons of resources and dedication of everybody that's involved, from the chief all the way through to animal control to that effort for our community, and it looks very good for our community to folks on the outside when they're looking at safety and what drives people and brings them in from law enforcement. Let's give Jerry and in finance and budget, I've just got to mention, our first 6 months of fiscal year is behind us, and I'm pleased to report, while we got some tender time ahead of us and months as we're moving along. 51.4% was our revenue source, so that's $36.8 million. So we're spot on. A little extra collection there for some things, so that's good. And then our expenses were 47.5%, so $34.5 million. That's reflecting those cuts we're making across the board, savings where we can, holding back on some vacant positions that are out there, and then just trying to be as efficient as we possibly can as inflation is out there. We don't have as many people in our community that are buying things, so we're trying to focus that everywhere we can. Get in the first 6 months to a positive of $2.788 million, which is good and was one of our best months. Dry spell of the next couple of months before we pick back up again, but everything is paid, everything is current, and we're on track. No suspicions or concerns. Revenue generated will be June 5th when the tax rate. Takes us to that. Project-wise, still advancing our East Main Street, still just in the planning stages. One of the good things, you got some correspondence today where I think we're moving forward, getting very close to getting the mural up on Main Street. That's grant-driven, so we're excited about that. Our designer and painters to get that piece of it done. Advancing very nicely in all of the big grant numbers that we're after for the state in our West Radford Commerce Park. So if that can work out, that will give us third to getting that property ready to advance to job creation, private investment, and things that we want to do. Jobs for our community. It's been a long time since we've exciting to see. I could start right now. Somebody could take it just like it is, but we do want to get it. Other West Main, western part of our community. Our private investment has gone very well. Is that lastly, I just say, my mom and dad were great people in our community. Thank you for your thoughts and your prayers and your understanding during this difficult time.
Jesse, what do you have for us this evening?
My moment of silence was dedicated to William Witt this evening. On my little to-do list, I still want to revisit with Kim about visiting the manufacturers in Radford where we could all go out and do some tours.
We're getting that set up.
Okay.
Sorry,
That's okay.
I thought I'd said, that was one of the things from the last couple council meetings ago, and I
Okay.
used to follow up with it. Yes, we're getting
Perfect.
that for you.
Okay.
Waiting for the weather to warm up a little bit.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you. We had a wonderful meeting, Councilwoman Artrip and I, at RU in regards to the amphitheater. And I have to say, I think we both left there feeling like we made some real progress. We were very direct about financial apprehension, about taking on a larger project right now, even if we did so collaboratively. And I think what we kind of decided to do is to take stock of the resources that the university already has that we really haven't been utilizing to their full potential. So I think that's probably the next step, is we're going to get a tour of all of those buildings and kind of get an idea of how many people can fit and what are the types of events that can be held. But you know, that they already have a lot of opportunity there that we just haven't had access to and haven't worked collaboratively on. So I'm very hopeful. I felt very good about the openness of the conversation and the transparency across the board with what we could put forth and what we couldn't. So more updates to follow. I attended the Farmhouse Pancake Breakfast. One of our firemen, Jeremy Compton, is in a long-term battle with cancer, and so they hosted a wonderful fundraising event, and it was so wonderfully attended by the community. Again, to kind of backpack on what you're saying on, you know, that's why we're here. When I went there and saw the huge support, and it wasn't just folks from Radford, it was people really all over the New River Valley coming out and offering support. So again, just to extend a thank you to everyone that come out, and just tell Jeremy that his positive attitude certainly is inspiring, and we're all on his side in this fight. They also had their holiday banquet. They wait till after the holidays because they tend to be a little bit busier around the holidays. And they did recognize their firefighter of the year, which was Jeremy Compton, and the EMS paramedic, Walker, and you're going to have to help me. It is Jungers. Okay, so that is the EMS paramedic of the year. So if you see them out and about, you might tell them congratulations. And again, thank you to everyone that is a first responder for all that they do for us. I have had the occasion lately to utilize our first responders for a family member, and I have to tell you, the grace in which they come into the home, the dignity that they allow people who are probably not at their very best is awe-inspiring. So if you see them out, give them a big hug and tell them thank you. I know that I certainly have. So I wanted to say, too, it's so very nice and refreshing when we have a citizen come up and recognize a department. And just to tell you, thank you for doing that. I think that, you know, the old adage, when something goes wrong, everyone complains, but when things go right, they often don't. And I believe that this is not your first occasion to recognize someone or a department. So thank you for doing that. And I know that goes a long way with the work that they do, so thank you. I appreciate that. We always ask for citizens, their observations, their input, suggestions when you're out and about. And so I just recently made one to give you an example of some of the things we're looking for. I was on 2nd Street Extended, and I noticed that the 25 mile per hour sign was, even without leaves, was greatly hindered. It was very difficult to see, and we have grandbabies that live up there, and I'll tell you, I about got brushed to the side by a car going very fast, and then I noticed it was hard to see that it's 25. They probably heard it as I yelled it, but they might not have seen the sign. So just a reminder, those are the sorts of things that we're looking for. You know, we drive past things all the time and we look at them, but we forget to see them. So if there's something that we need to be doing, some of the times those are the easiest things for us to move, and those gives us, you know, some good points of success. So if you see something, please let us know. And probably the last thing is I want to welcome Dr. Joyce. As many of you know, I did have a term on the school board, so I have a lot of friends still within the school districts all over the state. And I have to say, I was so thrilled with the outreach of folks, you know, saying, you know, you guys hired the best. He is going to be such an asset. And so looks like that school board knocked it out of the ballpark with this find. And I know that they put a lot of hours in because I was once on a superintendent search myself. So thank you for the school board for vetting him out, and welcome to our community, to his family. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Kelly, what do you have for us?
A lot of the same things. Congratulations to the RCPD for officially getting your CLIA accreditation. I know I've said congratulations in a few other meetings, but and you guys are well deserving of that, and Chief Dodson for helping out. So I'm fine. I got you big plaque, put it someplace where you can look at it and be appreciative of that every day. Thank you to Mountain Trotters for coming out, the boards and volunteers. Those are two events that I enjoy going to every year, Craft and Draft and Weston Weekends. And it's really good to see those resources that you guys have raised to go to really good causes. So thank you guys for sharing that with us so we know what those events are doing. Thank you, Mr. Fleischer, for coming out and telling us about that. I've heard some other things of people posting and saying thank you to all of our, you know, fire department, fire, EMS, public works, electric, water, all of the departments stepping up year round, but especially when it's not the best weather. So very thankful for them and their hard work. Welcoming Dr. Joyce. I met with him, and I think him and his wife are going to be a great asset to the school system, and I know that we are all very excited about starting fresh this year and being, you know, a more unified school system, growing towards a better direction. I did do the amphitheater meeting. Jesse said about all I can say about that. We're excited about looking into other prospects of being able to utilize some of the resources that have not been utilized thus far. Thank you, David, for all your hard work for budgeting now and continuously. It was a good information from the auditor that I know that we can all implement and work for to have a better year than we had before and continue to make changes in the right direction. So thank you guys for that.
Take a deep breath as we move from audit to
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Audit
It's a
to
quick-
budget.
quick
audit to
breath.
budget. Yes, yeah. And that's all I have.
I'll ditto pretty much everything that's been said, and again, pass on my continued prayers for the Redpath family and the Delaney family. Thinking about you guys and keeping both families in my prayers. Also, kind of as everyone said, thank you to all of our departments who've worked through the cold weather and the snow to keep our streets and lights on. It's you know, they don't have the option of sitting at home by a warm fire some nights, so it's certainly appreciated. I know my family appreciates it, so all of our families appreciate it, so thank you to everybody. Again, looking forward to Dr. Joyce. Welcome to Bobcat Nation. We all look forward to working with you and have a collaborative relationship with the city council and the school board, and so we can kind of game plan our futures together, and I look forward to developing that relationship with Dr. Joyce. Again, Chief Holdaway, it was good to see Chief Dotson, who's not here anymore. Congratulations to you guys and your whole department. Quite an accomplishment, and something that we're proud of a council that we can brag about that about our department, and it's the highest standards and something that we truly appreciate and know that we have the best around. Had a meeting with Planning Commission meeting with Melissa. We're continuing to work on our zoning rewrite, and we have a good group that's really digging into it. And yes. Yes, and I shared it, and I'm not sure who else has, but we do have a survey that you guys can fill out, super helpful, and we worked hard on those questions. We went back and forth for quite a while on that, so good group, working hard to get that done, so thanks, Melissa, for all that, and yes, please fill out the survey. We do use that information, and that is all I have. Thank you.
Bobby, what do you have this evening?
Yes, I just want to congratulate, well, actually, thank everybody for helping out during the snow and rain and ice and everything else. Very impressed with the city, just, working around the clock, taking care of everything. Power outages and getting the power back on in a short period of time. And I also want to just say to everyone out there, be sure to bring your pets in. Check on the elderly that are out there. And also, I want to say thank you to the chief for receiving the gold award. And so I appreciate everybody that participated in that. And pretty much it.
Thank you, Bobby. I'll say big dittos to what everybody else has said. Just a couple of quick notes. CALEA is a big deal for this community, and I want to thank Chief Holdaway for continuing the efforts, and Chief Dodson for helping us get the ball rolling. Sergeant Hyde, I wasn't kidding. She's been a huge part of this, as have so many members of the team, and Stephanie Caldwell deserves a great deal of our thanks, because she really worked as the administrator for all of this to make that come together. And so we're so appreciative of all the hard work that everyone has done. The bigger picture of this is our law enforcement community serving the citizens at the highest level possible. And that's really significant. The last few years have been really challenging for law enforcement, for relationships with communities. And Radford City Police Department has stepped up. And they've stepped up in every way they can work toward, and we're really excited where we are and where we're going. So thank you all so much. As for the firehouse pancake breakfast, that was a wonderful event, and again, showing this community and this region coming together. I got to sit with Jeremy's parents, and it was kind of neat talking with them a little bit and talking about how much the family environment makes a difference in their lives. This doesn't just affect one firefighter and one firefighter's family, it's the whole crew. And they've all come together beautifully, as we do here in this community, and it is a wonderful piece. We do have a lot coming up. I do want to mention the Polar Plunge, which is on February 17th. I invite all of my members of council to join me. I will be plunging once again this year to help raise money for the Special Olympics. You can come at least dip a toe in the water, but come on out February 17th down at Dudley's Landing. And we will be having a great event with hundreds, if not thousands, of people joining us that are just as crazy as I am and my fellow teammates hopping in the water. But I'll jump in twice if you all will join me. So
What time is that?
Typically we jump in around noon. The event goes on from about 9 in the morning until about 1 in the afternoon. So it's 3 or 4 hours. People come together. There's a little bit of tailgating that takes place.
You need some extra warmth to get
That's
into
right,
it.
yeah, and
So
a
if
little
I-
extra courage.
if I did the
But
toe,
it's actually not too bad. It's going to be a wonderful event, and the athletes are there. We have a number of athletes who come and join us every year. And even, seriously, if you can do it, join us, plunge, raise money, join a team, let's do something like that. But even if you can't do that, come down to the event and meet some of these athletes and meet some of the people helping raise money and support the Special Olympics, because it is life-changing for these folks and a really significant event. And it's not just a City of Radford event. This is Southwest Virginia's polar plunge. So you're going to have people from north of Roanoke all the way down to, it's not quite Bristol, I don't think, but it's like halfway between Wytheville and Bristol, because we have people from a pretty large area. So it's going to be a significant turnout of folks from all over. Please come out and join us on February 17th. And with that, we do have a little business we need to take care of. So Seth, if you will take us into closed session.
I'd like to make a motion to convene a closed meeting for the purpose of discussion or consideration of the acquisition of real property for a public purpose or of the disposition of publicly held real property, where discussion in an open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body under Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A3.
We have a motion to go into closed session. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, we're going to have to ask you all to leave us for a few minutes. You're welcome to stay around. We'll come back in open session as soon as we're done.